Hey everybody, Miss Amy here with the Westminster branch of the Carroll County Public Library. We are all so happy that you've decided to join us for our Snowy Day Fun program. You know, it's winter time and often we see a lot of snow around. But wait a minute, I don't see any snow here. I see a lot of ice, and you can tell it's pretty cold here in my backyard. But sometimes where we live, it doesn't always snow in the wintertime, does it? So we're going to show you some ways to have fun with the snow, whether or not the weather cooperates. So, to start with, I'm going to show you how you can create snowflakes, ice crystals inside, whether or not it's cold outside. You can even do that in the summertime, okay? So we'll be right back. All right, so now we're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can make snowflakes or crystals that will last a really long time inside the house. Now for both of these, you definitely need a grown-up to help you. No questions asked, okay guys? Because this involves really, really hot water, okay? So you've got to promise me you're going to have a grown-up help you, okay? So for either of these methods, you need some pipe cleaners. You need some string. You need a glass container that you're going to put your solution in, and you need a pencil. And you're going to take your pipe cleaner and you're going to put it into a type of shape that will fit inside of your container. You're going to want it to fit in there completely and not touch the sides. And then you're going to tie your string to it and tie the other end of the string to the pencil so that you can make it suspend within what's in there. What we're going to be doing is we're going to create a solution, okay? A super solution of either borax or sugar. And that's going to create the crystals. What you do is you heat up the water really, really high, and then that makes some of this material, more of it can be absorbed and can be dissolved in that water than you would normally have. And then once it all cools down, it comes back down to rest on your pipe cleaners. Now, for the borax, what you do is you take a cup of water. Let me check my instructions here. You're going to take a cup of water and you have boiled the water. Okay, the water has got to be all the way up to boiling. All right, you can either do that in the microwave, you can do it on the stove. And you're going to start out by putting 3 tablespoons of borax. This is laundry detergent powder. You can find it at the grocery store. 3 tablespoons for each cup of water. And you're going to stir it in there until it dissolves. And then you're going to take, if that all dissolves, you're going to take another tablespoon and see if that all dissolves, and another tablespoon, and you're going to put in as many tablespoons as you can until you finally start seeing pieces down at the bottom. Once that happens, again, you're going to take your pipe cleaner, and it's suspended from your pencil, and it's going to hang over here like that. All right? Now, let's say you don't have any borax powder, you can't find that. You can also do the same thing with sugar. All right? So, and the sugar, if it turns out right, you can eat it when you're done, if you're real careful and keep everything all nice and clean. Now for the sugar, you are going to take 3 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar in it, guys. 3 cups of sugar in something safe. You're going to want to do this in the microwave. You can do it on the stove, but it's easier in the microwave. So 3 cups of sugar in a bowl that you can put in the microwave. And then you're going to add 1 cup of water. That's a lot of sugar to water. That's really, really sweet, isn't it? And then you're going to microwave that for 2 minutes on high. And you're going to stir in all of that sugar. It's going to take a while because it's thick and it's slurry. You're going to stick it in there, okay? And then once you do that, it's boiling. So then you put it back in and you microwave it for 2 more minutes. And you stir it, and you stir it, and you stir it. Okay. And then you put all of that in your glass jar. Okay. And once that cools down a little bit, you can then put this in there. All right. Now, for both of these, you need to be patient. It's got to sit there for like a week. Okay. Sit there for a whole week. And you don't touch it. And you've got to wait and see what happens, okay? Now, I cannot say this enough. You need a grown-up to help you, okay? All right, so hang on a second, and we're going to see what happens with my crystals that have waited for a whole week. All right, everybody, let's take a look at my experiments that have been sitting here for a week. As you can see, I've got my pencil, and they're dangling from the string into the solution, into our glass containers. This one here is the borax. This one over here is the sugar, okay? So let's take a look at the borax first. The borax is actually a little easier. It usually takes not quite as much time for the crystals to form. Let's see what we've got. Look at that. So we've got sugar crystals. Wouldn't that be pretty to hang on your tree or in the window? Sparkling all sorts. Look at that. So that one worked. Cool. Now, and I'm just going to let that sit right there because we're going to let that dry. Now, let's take a look at our sugar. The sugar is harder. It is all stuck in there. Oh my heavens, look at this. Oh goodness, it's stuck inside my jar. Look at that. Oh good heavens. Let's see if Miss Amy can actually get this thing out of here. We've got sugar. We've got sugar crystals, and you know what? Let me see. That's just like hard candy, guys. Look at that. So, these are 2 different ways that you can make crystals in your home, okay?
Hi everybody, this is Miss Jess, and today I'm going to show you how you can create a snowy scene in a birch tree forest, just like this one. Alright, so first you need to gather your materials. So you need a piece of paper, you need some tape. I'm using some painter's tape, but you can use some masking tape if you want. You want something that's doesn't have a really strong hold because you're going to need to peel it off of the paper. And then you need some paint. I'm using blue, but you can use any color you like. And I also have some white that we'll be using later. And you'll need a paintbrush or 2. You could do this with finger painting as well if you want to do it that way. You also need a pencil or pen for some detail work later. And since we're using paint and it could get a little messy, it's a good idea to cover your surface. I have a plastic tablecloth on my table, makes clean up a little easier later. All right, so as you can see, I taped my paper down using the painter's tape, and I used a rectangle, but you could use any shape you like if you wanted to tape and get something fancy like an oval or even a heart or anything like that. It's nice to try to keep the overlap of the tape and the paper even. Gives you a nice picture frame kind of effect. You can see on this finished one. And you want to make sure that at least the edges where the paper and the tape meet are pushed down nice and tight, because you don't want any paint to leak in underneath the tape. All right, so now we're going to take some more pieces of tape about the same height as the paper, and we're going to tear it. Now you don't want to tear it perfectly straight because we're making trees, and trees are not perfectly straight, right? So you can make them however wide you want, and you can make different widths for different trees. So every tree is a little different, and you're just going to tear it like this. Okay? Then you're going to put it down on your paper, and like before, you want to make sure that those edges are sealed down onto the paper, because we're making kind of a relief image. So we're going to be applying the paint to the paper that's not covered in tape, and the trees are going to be the negative space. I'll show you what I mean in a little bit, but you want to make sure that the paint is not going to get underneath that tape. I think I'm going to space these out. These are kind of skinny trees, so I want to space them out a little bit more. Put a thicker one right there. And we'll maybe do a couple more trees over here on this side. All right. I'm going to make a nice big tree right here. And maybe we'll put this last one over here. Now you can also use some tape to make branches. So you're just going to make them smaller than you did your trees, and they can be itty bitty like this one here, or you can make a bigger branch like this one. However you want your forest to look is fine. So you can go ahead and add however many branches you want. Like I said, you want to make sure that the tape is pushed down. And then once you are ready, you can go ahead and paint your picture. Just add a couple more branches here. Whoop. Make sure it looks like the branch is attached to the tree. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to put some paint on it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paint all the white space. Now you can make it as dark or as light as you want. Just remember that the more paint you put on the paper, the longer it's going to take to dry. So I'm going to put mine on pretty light just so that it dries a little quicker. And it's okay to go right over the tape. We're just going to paint the whole thing, okay? And then you're going to let the whole thing dry. And you want to make sure that it is pretty dry before you do the next part. Otherwise, you might run into some problems. But you're going to go ahead and paint over the whole picture. And you can even do additional colors if you want. So like if you wanted it to be a sunset or sunrise, you could do different colors as a background. That would look really pretty too. However you would like it to look. All right, so now I have my whole picture painted and it's still real wet, so I'm gonna let it dry. Okay, and we'll come back in a little bit and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I have this other painting that I had made a little earlier and it is pretty dry right now. So I'm going to show you what you do after your painting is dry. So you're going to very carefully, you can use your nails or something, and you're just going to very, very carefully remove the tape from the picture. You want to be careful because you don't want the paper to rip. And you're just going to slide it right off. So you can see where some paint oozed underneath the tape a little bit right there. That's all right. Trees are not perfectly flat, remember? So we're just going to pull the whole tree off. Good job. All right. And you're going to do that for all your trees. Just got a little paint dust there. All right. Just going to go ahead and remove all your trees. And this is what I mean by negative space. So everywhere that the tape was is now white, like a resistance. Okay. And you'll see that you have some white trees, making up your forest. Now, birch trees are white, but they're not completely white. So we're going to add some details to our trees to make them look a little bit more realistic. And I'm just going to go ahead and blow that off. All right. So birch trees have some little black stripes. So we're just going to add them every so often. And you can kind of add them wherever you want. It's where the bark kind of separates. So you're just going to add some details. However it looks nice for you. Just going to add some quickly here to each tree. You can see it's starting to take some shape. All right. Now we can add some other details to where we already have paint on our picture as well. So this looks like it might be a forest at night. And if we want to go ahead and make it a snowy night, since it is our snowy day fun, just add some white paint dots and make it look like it's snowing in our birch forest. Now you could also take that same white paint if you wanted to add a moon, and just go ahead and do that right over the blue paint. You just want to add enough to cover up the blue. So you can even add other colors, maybe make some birds flying in your forest. However you like the look of your forest, because it is your painting and it can look however you want it to look. All right, so now we have a birch forest in the middle of a snowstorm. All right, and you can also remove the tape on the sides. And you can see that we have a little bit of a frame for it. Okay, so that is our birch tree painting. And I'm gonna let you go ahead and see some of the other projects and things that we have for our snowy day fun with my friends from the Westminster Library. All right. Thanks for joining me.
Hi everybody, it's Miss Maureen from the Westminster Library. So today we've been talking about different kinds of things about snow and ice, and so while I don't really like to be cold, I do really like when it snows. So I wanted to do some fun things with snowflakes with you today. So here we have little snowflakes, and then I also have some big snowflakes, but we're going to start with our little snowflakes. Are you ready? So we're going to say, you can sing it with me once you get it. Ready? 1 little, 2 little, 3 little snowflakes, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little snowflakes, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little snowflakes, 10 little snowflakes on my tongue. Do you like to catch snowflakes on your tongue? Are you ready? We're going to do another one. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little snowflakes, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little snowflakes, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little snowflakes, 10 little snowflakes on my hat. Good job. Ready? Next is going to be our mittens. Ready? 1 little, 2 little, 3 little snowflakes, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little snowflakes, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little snowflakes, 10 little snowflakes on my mittens. All right, next is going to be our boots. Are you ready? 1 little, 2 little, 3 little snowflakes, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little snowflakes, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little snowflakes, 10 little snowflakes on my boots. Good job. All right, we're going to put our little snowflakes away. I'm going to get my big snowflakes. So hopefully you'll be able to make your own snowflakes at home using some paper and scissors. Are you ready? Snowflakes, snowflakes, dance around. Snowflakes, snowflakes, touch the ground. Snowflakes, snowflakes in the air. Snowflakes, snowflakes everywhere. Good job. You can sing that at home after you make your snowflakes. All right, we're going to do one more. We're going to do something with our big snowflakes. And I cut these myself out of felt using a pair of sharp scissors. Are you ready? 1 little snowflake with nothing to do. Along came another, and then there were 2. 2 little snowflakes laughing with me. Along came another, and then there were 3. 3 little snowflakes looking for more. Along came another, and then there were, how many? Can you count them with me? Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little snowflakes dancing a jive. Along came another, and then there were 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little snowflakes having so much fun. Out came the sun. Then there were none. What happened to our snowflakes? They melted. And that's the bummer about when it snows, because then the sun comes out and the snow all melts away. All right, well, I hope we get lots of good snow this winter, and we can go out and play, and you can sing these songs with the snowflakes you find. All right, everybody. Hope we see you soon. Bye.
Hi everyone, it's Miss Rebecca, and today I am going to show you how to make coffee filter snowflakes. I decided to be on the set of Emmett's Playhouse because, hey, there's snow and snowflakes and everything, so we might as well use his set. He said it was okay. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to get some washable markers. Crayola makes these washable markers, and you're going to want to get them in like some wintry colors, like purple, teal, blue, kind of like those colors that make you think of cold weather. Coffee filters. Usually this smaller size, like the 4 to 6 cup, probably works best. And then you need an eyedropper or like a small teaspoon. I am going to use one of these little bottles that's got a tiny point at the top to drop some water on. So these are fun to make, and it's kind of like a science project and a craft all in one, because you get to see the effect that the water has on the coffee filter. So caregivers, you're going to want to have something underneath your coffee filter, like a cookie sheet, because this can get kind of messy. So what you're going to do is you're going to have the kids take one filter, and you're going to have them color a pattern on it. I started one, but I didn't like this pattern. I didn't do it well. So I followed 2 more, and Pinterest has this whole thing. It's awesome. All right, so what I did for today is I colored in 2 different filters, and you try to use all the colors that you've got, and the design really doesn't matter, because once it gets wet, it's gonna all merge and it'll be beautiful. It'll be a tie-dye. But it is kind of fun for the kids to come up with a design if they want to. The main thing to remember is that you need enough color over the coffee filter so that when you drip water on it, it'll make a really pretty pattern. So, caregivers, have your kids do a pattern on each of these. And then we're gonna come back while I get it ready to do the water. Okay, everybody, now that we've got our coffee filters ready, I am going to take some water and start dripping it on them, and then you can see the effect it's gonna have, okay? I'll move these back a little bit so you can see them. So here we go. The idea is to get them wet, but not soaking wet, because otherwise they'll take forever to dry. So you're just gonna keep dropping some water on them, and you can start to see how it's moving around. Caregivers, if you have more time, it might be a good idea to maybe put the coffee filters between a book or something to flatten them first, because as you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble with them curling up on the sides, but now that they're getting more and more wet, it seems to be working better. Your fingers might get a little messy. Okay, so I'm gonna keep dripping. You see what a beautiful shades it's making. I'm gonna flatten this side down. So you wanna get them really, like I said, not soaked, because you want to be able to dry in time, but enough that it gives the tie-dye effect when they're all done. You can see how pretty they're starting to turn out. The colors are starting to run together. Very pretty. So here's what they look like once you put the water on them. Oops, and I can see one of them's dripping already. Okay, so we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna let these dry, and I'm probably gonna maybe use a hair dryer on them because I'm at work and I need to dry them fast. So, but there are other ways you can dry them according to the Pinterest website. You can put them out in the sun, or you can even put them in the oven, but I don't know that I wanna try that. So I will see you in a little bit when these are dry, and then we will continue the second part of our snowflake craft, okay? Welcome back, friends. So I ended up using a space heater to dry these. I put them on a string. You can see in the picture, I strung it up like a little clothesline, and they dried really fast. I'm surprised at how quickly they dried. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to fold them, and then we're gonna cut a couple of designs, and then you'll have your beautiful snowflakes. So now I'm gonna adjust the camera so that you can see what I'm doing, okay? The website I got this idea from, it's called onelittleproject.com. And she had a bunch of different designs, and I don't know how to design a snowflake, so I kind of took her the cuttings that she did to help me out, you know, so it makes things easier. So I will use those as kind of a template. So the first one, we're gonna try this blue one. And let me back up so you can see what I'm doing. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna fold it in half. So you got a half circle. And then you're gonna take the right corner, fold it about a third of the way over. So it kind of looks like a little fan. And then you're gonna take the left corner and you're gonna try and even it up with the right corner. So I didn't do that the way I wanted to, so let's try that again. So you're gonna fold it this way, and then you're gonna try, see, I made it more even. They were saying a third, but I made it more even. So then when you fold your other side over, then it lines up pretty well. So now you got like a triangle, and then once you have this, you're gonna fold it one more time. And you try to get the ends as even as possible. This will give you a 6-pointed snowflake, which, how convenient, all snowflakes have 6 points. So look at that. So you're gonna cut from this little triangle. So now I am going to get my little sampler piece here so that I can look and see kind of how I need to cut it. So I'm just gonna get my scissors and we'll see how it turns out. Let's see here. I do this. Oh, and my sample just moved. There's one piece. And most of these you can just, you know, do a couple of tiny triangles. Triangles will always get you a snowflake shape for the most part. I just wanted to, you know, have an actual design. So that's why I borrowed this lady's design that she did. Let's see, cut that. You're gonna cut it. Oh, and be careful not to cut the end off, which I'm about to do. Okay, I want a really tiny one. Now, and something else I discovered, if you cut this tip off, that little tip, it gives you a circle in the middle of your snowflake. So we're gonna try that too. Okay, so there's that one. I've got one more I wanna do here, I think. Yeah, this isn't gonna be exactly the way I had planned, but it's okay. Twill still be pretty. All right, so now get all your little pieces out there. All right, so here's my shape. See how that goes? Now, what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna wait and I'll open that one after I cut the other one. That way, you guys, it'll be like a double surprise. Okay, so here we go again. Here's your pink, this one's a pink one. You're gonna fold it in half, just like before. And then I'm gonna fold it in half again, because even though she was saying a third, it doesn't line up for me when I do a third. So I'm folding it in half and then folding it in half again. So I get an even little triangle. And then you're gonna fold that whole thing over one more time. So now we have our triangle, and now I've got a different pattern that I'm going to cut. It kind of looks like this. I know it doesn't look like much when you're doing it, but it's really cool once it's done. So let's see if I can get this pattern to cut out right. Okay, let's see. That's there. Did I do that right? I don't even know if I did that right. I may have done that backwards. And you know what? That's okay, because it's a snowflake and no two snowflakes are alike, and they're never going to be exactly the same. So even if I think I cut this out backwards, it's probably still gonna come out nice and pretty, I would think. Let's see here. Okay, so I did that, and then I'm going to make a circle here. And a little bit here. she had something different. She had these kind of going, these pokey ones kind of going up like this. I think that makes a really interesting design when she does that. So let's see if I can get something like that going. Okay, and try one more there. Okay, so now this is the design I have for this one. So since I'm not sure how this one's gonna turn out, let's open the other one first, okay? So this is the one we use more blue for. So here we go. Oh, oh, I just love the way the colors look. And when you hang these in the window and the sun hits them, it's even prettier. Oh, they're very delicate, so I'm having a little bit of trouble opening it up. I know the anticipation is killing me. I cannot get the end of this. Okay. Oh, look how pretty. That is so pretty. You can't really see with my shirt. I'm gonna lay it flat down so that you can see it a little bit better. Kind of see it there? That's beautiful. All right, let's see what happened with this one, okay? We're gonna unfold. Something tells me I didn't cut this one right, but it's looking interesting, isn't it? And I even practiced before I got on camera here. Oh well. Oh, I think it is still gonna come out pretty cool. Not exactly what I had planned, but it's still pretty darn cool. Yeah? A little bit different, kind of a different style, but you can see all the colors. It turned out pretty. So there you have it. So once again, I got this idea it's a website called One Little Project, and it's on Pinterest. And there are a lot more designs on there for the snowflakes, and I believe she's got a lot of other ideas for coffee filters to use as an art project. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye-bye.